Today, we are going to do Am I the Asshole?
Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole? Don't say
I'm
that.
gonna violate community guidelines before we even monetize. That would suck.
Am I the a-hole car edition?
Yeah, am I the a-hole Reddit stories car edition?
I see you rolling up.
Because I watch a lot of Charlotte Dobre, side of my mum.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Well,
shout
shout
out.
out.
We love Charlotte Dobre. We'll have her link down below. But yeah, so what we're doing is pretty much this, because there's a lot of Reddit stories out there about horror, party stories, petty revenge stories, in-laws from hell. And you know, crazy wedding drama. Am I being a bridezilla, groomzilla, whatever it is? But you don't hear a lot of car editions. Like there's normally a car involved at some point, but not solely related to cars. So I did a little search. There were 5 that popped up straight away. I only read the title of them, opened them in a new tab, so I have no idea what's gonna happen. But we're gonna go through them. Yes, and I am using my car. Do not recommend it, but my paint's already like really messed up. So here.
Same.
With a spray painting. So anyways,
I'm
let's
having
get into
some apple cider.
I'm drinking the Coke Zero Sugar Oreo. I actually quite like that stuff. And yes, I actually look decent for once. I actually did my hair.
Bang.
Let's get into this. Okay, are you ready for the first Am I the A-hole car edition Reddit story?
Yes.
Okay, am I the a-hole for not letting my co-worker test drive my wife's new car?
Yes.
Straight away, I'm saying no, you're not the ass.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not an asshole.
Okay. There's an update, and there's also context. I'm like Charlotte Dobre. I love me context. I want a big story. I want to know everything. So context. Hello, me, 31 male, and my wife, 30 female, decided that we would try to start a family of our own after landing stable jobs and buying our first house together. During this, I asked my wife if she could get her license. She never bothered as she lived in Boston before meeting and marrying me, as I couldn't ferry our family everywhere and try to get to work. So I got my wife an old Beta and gave her some driving lessons along with a driving instructor, and she passed. She was happy with the car that I got her, but I thought I should treat her. Up till now, I drove a 2011 Civic. As a family, neither of us ever had a new car. So I put together some of my savings and bought her a brand new Mercedes A220, which she loved.
That's a bit pricey.
Yeah. Now, let's get to the main bit of this. After about a month after the Merc, my car, the Civic, decided to give up the ghost. When I took it to the repair shop, they said it had various issues, including wiring issues. Yeah, that's very common in the Civic. I like that we can do this because we can offer some like, oh yeah, that's kind of a common thing. Causing it to stop supplying power to the engine randomly. My wife told me to take her car to work that day, so I took it. And as I parked up in the lot, a co-worker, let's call him X, came up to me from his car. He started asking about the car and asked the price and where my Honda went. When I started telling him what happened to my car, he cut me off midway through and asked if he could test the car. At which point I told him it was my wife's and that I would like to keep it pristine for her. Oh boy, if someone said that to you, you would have been like, my wife's going to take my head off. As he gave me a bit of a look and stormed into the office block. As I walked up, I got a few weird looks. And when I sat down next to my work buddy, he said that X told everyone in the office that I'm an a-hole and that I have changed into a snob after getting a new car. I don't understand what I did wrong, other than maybe not letting him drive the car. It would help if somebody gave me some light on these issues, thank you. And then the update was, upon reading the comments, I went to HR and everything's sorted. Thanks, Reddit. Straight away, not an asshole.
Nah, Mr. X is toxic though.
Yeah.
Like he said, no, it's my wife's car.
With grace, he decided to try and turn people, which does make it a HR issue.
Yeah, it was like,
so it's good on him for going to HR and speaking to someone.
And he's like, it's my wife's car. At least his work buddy, like, you know, said, hey,
okay, this is what's happening.
Heads up, man.
But like, people are so entitled.
Yeah. Just saying.
It doesn't even matter whose car it was. At the end of the day, the person driving it doesn't want you to drive it.
It,
Just
yeah,
accept it.
it's, yeah, it's not your car.
Yeah. Like, you have
Like,
no...
if my work buddy's like, can I take the yeah? And I'll just go, no. Like, no.
Okay, I'm trying to read some of the comments. Someone said, not the asshole. You'd be the asshole if you let him drive your wife's car without her permission. And I'd never give permission to someone who just wants to drive a cool car. He can go to a dealership like anyone else.
Yeah.
Given the kind of car it is and the kind of person he appears to be, I'm not betting that he'll drive with due care and attention. It's easy to misjudge a car even when you are. Plus, he might not be insured and certainly won't pay for any increase in insurance if he were to have an accident. If someone came to me and said, OP is a meanie for not letting me drive his wife's car, I told them, good for OP, you won't drive mine either. Someone said, I'm reading this in Charlotte Dobre voice. I cannot believe the dude's audacity.
The audacity.
OP describes him as a co-worker, not as a friend, which tells me that they aren't that close. Randomly going up to a dude in a work car park asking to drive their car and sulking when they say no, it's the behavior of an insane person. Okay, so we all agree this person is not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. We all agree with that. It'd be different if you guys were friends and you had said, oh yeah, I'll let you drive the car one day, and then you
back out.
down. But, like, you're borrowing your wife's car.
Yeah, you didn't even want to. Like, she just said, take my car.
And you went, okay. Gonna have a sip of my drink.
Oh, yeah, dog.
Dead bug.
Yeah, it went in my ear, asshole.
Reddit says that bug is the a-hole.
Yes, it is the a-hole.
Okay, am I the a-hole for forcing my son to sell the car he is inheriting? Straight away, yes. There's probably way more context, but straight off the top of my head, hearing that question, yes, you're the a-hole.
So she's
forcing her son to sell the car that he is inheriting.
Yeah.
So she's the a-hole?
She's the a-hole.
Okay, so let's read this whole thing before we fully make up our minds.
No.
They're already kind of made up.
Mine is made up.
This didn't happen yet, but my whole family is fighting over this. I'll try to make this as short as possible. Don't do that.
Long story.
My father passed away in December. He owned a classic car. I believe it's a 50 Chevy Bel Air.
Bro, that is awesome.
That is so cool.
It is a cool car, the Bel Air.
Yeah.
I've seen photos of it and it's like, damn. That's classic.
Moving on. My son, 17 male, is the only grandson he had. I have one sister who had 2 daughters, and I have 2 daughters along with my son. So there are 5 grandkids total. My dad was never much of a girl guy. He always got along with the boys more than the girls. Him and my son were very close. He has left the car to my son in his will. The rest of the grandkids get $4,000 cash each. The vehicle is valued at over $70,000. Okay, I could understand the difference there, but it comes down to who was he closer to and what his wishes are.
Yeah, and at least he's not just leaving everyone high and dry. He's like,
yeah, he's getting them.
He split it up equally.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, I would probably do like equal value. So you're getting a $70,000 car, but then he may not be in a position to do that, and it was very. He doesn't have to leave the grandkids anything.
Yeah.
Because in Australia, where we live with wills, if you die, everything goes to your kids. If your kids die, then it goes to the grandkids. So if he's in Australia, he really didn't have to leave anything to his grandkids. America's a lot different, but
I think America, because we don't really have Bel Airs here.
Yeah. We have a couple. I've seen a couple.
I've seen like one.
I think about 2 or 3.
I've seen one or 2. Yeah.
But yeah, my sister is livid. I mean, yeah. I am very unhappy as well. It's just blatantly unfair to his other 4 grandkids. I don't understand the legality of the situation because it was left to him, but he is currently underage. Actually, in Australia, if you're over 16, there's something that you can do, and I think consenting to something in inheritance.
Yeah, I mean, he's underage to drive it.
Yeah, whereas in Australia, like 15 and 9 months, I think 16 and 9 months.
6.
So he would still be able to go, no, I want that car. Legally.
16 and 9 months.
And actually, in Australia, legally, if something's been left to you and you're underage, it's supposed to be the family cannot sell it until you become 18 and can make that decision yourself if you want it sold. That's just from what I understand from Will, because I'm an only child and my parents were always worried that worst case scenario would happen. So if that were to happen, I would have gone with those people, those family members I don't talk to. But yeah, they were like, okay, the house, and I was like, but wait, they sell the house and wanted me, and it turned out they couldn't sell the house until I turned 18 because the house was mine. They had to take care of me, but they couldn't sell the house. So I'm assuming in America because because it was left to him and he is currently underage. The car is currently held at my mum's house. I don't know how to force him to sell it, but I think that is what should happen, and the money can be divided equally amongst the grandkids the way it should be. My son is very upset about this. He said Grandpa left him the car, so it's his car. I've saved money for his college. I'm almost considering telling him that his college money will be divided up amongst his sisters and cousins if he refuses to sell the car. Am I the a-hole?
Yes.
I mean, because that car is the only thing he had left.
And
of
what?
his grandfather.
Yeah, and what if like his grandfather and him had time and
what if they worked on that car together? I'm sure his
memories.
grandfather probably took him for numerous like little trips out in that car.
Yeah, like my dad and I bought a car and he worked on it with me and I worked on it and I have those memories and like
I mean, you sold the car. But that was your choice. You weren't being forced to do it.
Yeah, that was my choice and I sold it. Yeah, I had good memories in it, but like I bought another car and have good memories in that car. Yeah. I have good memories, starting good memories in this car.
My baby.
My baby.
I mean, I get where the mom's coming from. I understand why she's hurt. I understand why everyone's kind of hurt. But at the same time, it comes down to what that person's final will and testament was, what their wishes were.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just the reality of life. Sometimes some people end up closer with other grandkids. And sometimes it's no sexist thing. Maybe it's just, we don't know the full extent. We don't know the family. But judging based on this story, I'm going to say you're the asshole because, you know.
Yeah. Like
I would be heartbroken if, one of my grandfathers died when I was 10 and my other grandmother died when I was 12. If they had left something that valuable for me and I found out my family forced me to sell it, I would never be able to speak to them again. I would have been heartbroken because in my mind, that would have been the only thing I had left on my grandparents. So the comment said, you're asking the wrong question here. You need to ask yourself, do you intend to honor your father's last wishes about his property or not? It seems like an unfair situation all around, but forcing him to sell it would certainly damage your relationship with your son. Is it worth doing that? You would be the a-hole. Someone said, you're the a-hole and your sister is also the a-hole. Get real. Your father had final wishes written down in a legal document that he paid to have drafted. He gave each grandkid something. In this case, the granddaughters, it was cash. In the case of your son, it was a car. By your own words, he has a strong, close bond with your son and not his granddaughter. There is no what is right and fair in someone's will. It is literally their final wishes. He could have also left them all diddly squat and donated it to charity.
Yeah.
But he chose to do what he did, and now you and your sister perceive it, because you perceive it as somehow unfair, are attempting to subvert that you have your son sell his inheritance. By the way, you can't. It's legally his property now, not yours, even if he can't drive it, to appease the other grandchildren. Okay, so
this is crisis for me, Bugs.
Yeah. So I was right. He can't sell it because it's his property. Well, she can't force him or sell it behind his back, and if he does, that can be illegal too. Consequences. Please remember, your father had zero obligation to give anyone anything and chose to do things as he has. No one was left out and everyone got something. I'm sure your mother is thrilled you're all making such a ruckus over this while she's grieving her dead husband and you're all comparing and complaining how fair it all is or isn't. If I was your son, I'd be telling you to pound sand, and I hope you realize you're risking your future relationship with him by what you're considering doing. And if he speaks to a lawyer, is going to find out that you can't actually make him sell that car. Since you seem to be stuck on what's fair, your threat of dividing his college fund due to something that is completely out of his control is both cruel and unfair to your son. If you choose to do that, I hope you understand it's very possible your son will wash his hands of you and want nothing to do with you down the road. So, we all deem the person the a-hole.
A-hole, yeah.
So I was right with some of the legal. I did a little bit of legal studies in college, but that was youngsters ago. So what are you thinking of the MIT a-hole Reddit stories?
Yeah, I like them. Like, he's reading now. It's like, why?
Like, what is wrong with people?
Like, okay, yeah, you're not. You are. Okay, you're not.
I understand what you're feeling, but you're going about it in a bad way.
And it's like, you know, these about are like, you know, high-end cars as well. And it's like the classic car that I'll say, it's not high-end, but it's classic.
And it's literally worth $70,000.
Yeah, and like the Mercedes, that's probably...
I'm sure that was a pretty penny.
Yeah, a pretty penny. And then here I am with the EU.
But yeah, so we saw this short video, but also you may have seen mentions or whispers about it. We're starting a podcast at some point. We can't tell you when or where, but this is one of the things we're going to be reading, like maybe 1 or 2 MIT a-hole Reddit stories.
These bugs.
Yeah.
I'm going to shit whip all of them.
But yeah, MIT a-hole Reddit stories, maybe 1 or 2 per episode. And we're also going to be talking about things that we're doing with the cards, things behind the scenes, more in depth. So keep an eye out for when we post the actual podcast when that comes live. But we will be doing this, so we thought it'd just be a little toe in the water, see if we actually enjoy it, because we weren't going to do it if we didn't enjoy it. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Okay, this might be our last one because the bugs come and attack.
Ooh. Okay, am I the a-hole for telling my wife I'm not selling my car? It depends on the situation. My wife and I have been together for 7 years, married for 2, and we now have a toddler together. I've always been a breadwinner in the relationship. I pay the mortgage and bills and manage our finances. She works part-time to cover some extras and is our son's primary caregiver. Becoming a mother was her number one life goal, where for me, it was one of multiple milestones I wanted to achieve in life, alongside having a fulfilling career, traveling to certain places, and the achievement in question here, owning a nice car. Just before we began dating, I bought a classic sports car. Oh, I wish I said what car.
JDM, exotic? Like,
I don't know.
I need to know.
Hi, I'm back doing the editing. Ignore this, announcement coming later. Corey's gonna see this and he's gonna be very happy because I edit the videos or most of them, and then he does like final watch through just to make sure it looks good, prove it. I don't want to put up anything that we both don't like or one of us doesn't like. The car in question that this guy owned, I went back to look at the thing to take screenshots, so obviously the text is on screen as you have seen so far. And in the comments, he did actually write what car he owned. It is a 2001 Honda S2000. Oh my god. Love this car. If you've seen Too Fast, Too Furious, Suki's pink car. Oh, it's got like a model of it up there in this room. But it's the early model with the 9,000 RPM red line. Fulfilling a big life goal of mine, I've been obsessed with cars and car culture since I could walk and talk.
Yep, JDM.
However, once we bought a fixer-upper house together and had a baby, I haven't had the money, time, or space to tinker with it or drive it anymore. So the car is currently in storage. It's not costing us anything. We also own a big family car. Over the last couple of years, my wife has brought up selling the car now and again. She did it again yesterday, only this time she said that even if I sold that car for a huge profit, or we otherwise came into a lot of money somehow, she wouldn't expect me to waste money on buying another car for myself. I got annoyed and told her that as a car enthusiast, owning a classic/sports car was always part of my life plan, long before I met her. I explained that I'd always prioritized keeping a roof over our heads and ensuring we had a good standard of living, but she couldn't tell me to sell my car, nor say I wasn't allowed to tinker and drive it or buy a different one when money allowed for it. It then descended into an argument, and we haven't really spoken to each other since yesterday. Am I the a-hole for getting angry about this?
Okay. Like...
We've had similar arguments, not arguments,
but yes, we had very...
Yeah. They hit hard.
We have had...
But it wasn't really
a disagreement. Like, I was...
not to this extent. And
yeah.
I didn't tell you couldn't buy another car. What I said was you couldn't own 3 cars at one time
Yeah.
because of the fact that we live with my parents.
The living situation.
If we had our own house, I would let him do whatever the hell he wanted. But because
10
we live
cars.
with my parents, it's not fair for us to both have 2 vehicles each and then
Yeah.
get a third one.
Yeah. That bug is on your head. Yes, okay. Gonna wrap this up because the bugs are attacking us. I'd say no, he's not the asshole. But, like, he didn't have to get mad.
But then we don't know.
But-
they don't tell us exactly what we
Yeah.
said. So he may have been wanting
So-
to get mad. We don't know.
So, he does the finances, he does the breadwinning.
Yeah.
Yes. So, if he does the financing, then he knows
How much money they have.
how
and
much
they have.
money, and he prioritizes the house first and not the sports car.
Yeah. That's just on the side.
That's on the side, like, that's
It'd
there.
be different if it was like a money pit. If it was like
Yeah.
a Brumby where you had to put like $10,000 of work into it
To make it, yeah,
But
fine.
if it's just like $1,000 here and
And-
$1,000 there for like
Like a
music,
hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's just a hobby and he prioritizes the house and the
Yeah.
kids and the
And he
wife
says,
first.
okay, I'm gonna put aside $100 a week, and then at the end of the month he goes, okay, I've got $400 or $500
let's
here.
buy new tires or let's drive it.
He's putting money
around.
aside, but he still can't. So it doesn't explain a lot, but I'm gonna say she's kind of the asshole because yes, she's
And it-
taking money
and it
to
was-
take care of his son.
And it was his dream.
Yeah.
Like it's his dream when he was like, you know,
Probably like a kid.
knee high Tim Grasshopper, you know, like
I don't like bugs.
Here you go, flick the fuckers.
But yeah, I'm
But
gonna
yeah.
say that she's possibly the asshole. Yes, she is doing a hard job. Being a mum is a hard job, and she's working part time on top of that. But ultimately, okay, I'm sure they probably have like a joint bank account. If he's only using his money and not money in a joint bank account or money, you know,
Yeah.
if it's his money, it's his money. She can't really dictate anything.
But yeah,
It'd be different if he was sinking a whole lot of money into it to the
And
point
it-
where
and
they
he's-
were possibly having to file for bankruptcy. But
yeah,
he's not.
and he's not, you know, but he's helping out a lot, like with the house and everything.
Yeah. And she's
So-
very responsible. And, you know, maybe him getting angry with just a combination of
Just
a lot of
yeah,
it
because
coming over time.
she's done it multiple times, and he's like, no, I'm not selling it. Back off. So,
But he says it's in storage and it's not costing him in storage. So, like, what's she mad about?
True. Well, I'm gonna say no. He's not the a-hole.
Yeah.
But she is.
They both could have gone about it better, but just for the purpose of this, he's not the a-hole, she is.
So
But also, you're teaching your kid good values. Save money, do what you want, but don't.
don't sink your money into it.
Yeah. He's teaching the
Yeah.
kids.
Hobbies. Okay.
We're going to go inside because I don't like bugs.
Yes,
but
bugs are attacking.
Bye. I'm out.
Hope you guys like it, and we will see you in the next video when we get to it.